welcome to our world. It's Cedric
All
LaFleur.
things don't change.
So welcome to Black Entrepreneur Institute Live. We are back in session, and I'm excited to be here with you today. It's been a minute, but we are here with you. So hopefully everyone's having a great day. I am Cedric LaFleur, and I'm excited to have my co-founding partners, Dr. Nicole Rankin and I was going to say Dr. Angela Hooper Minifield. So,
Hey, go ahead and put it out in the universe. I already told Nicole I'm gonna go get me one. I'm gonna go buy one, but I'm gonna go get me one so I can be a Dr. Angela like she a Dr. Nick.
okay, all right. Well, then there we go. We're speaking it into existence. We're excited to be here with you tonight. It's another Tuesday night, and when that is happening, that means that we are here with you. So, I'm excited for the show tonight, and we really have a good show planned for you. We're gonna give you some quick announcements, and we're gonna discuss a whole lot of stuff, and I'll talk about what we're going to talk about here in just a bit. But the first thing is, we are rounding out our 8-week boot camp. We are in, I think we have like 2 weeks, 2 sessions left, or 2 weeks left, and just know that this is coming to the end of boot camp number 9, and boot camp number 10 starts here, boom, right in January. So if you want to get in, you get ready. We'll put up a link tonight. You can start looking at getting registered for boot camp number 10. When you get in number 10, that means you're really, really special. When you think about 10, just think of the number 10, right? If it's a lady and she's a 10, boom, she's dynamite. If it was a guy and he's a 10, or I guess that's what answered them called, I don't know, but that's dynamite. So you want to get in boot camp number 10, that means dynamite.
Why would we say, we guess that was when Dr. Nick called him? I mean, like, what, like, Dr. Nick probably check out more men than I do. I'm just saying.
Well, I hope so.
Expecting that one.
Hey. The next thing is we have Connect and Collab coming up. We're going to tell you all about how you can be with us on December 3rd. So stay tuned for that an announcement here coming up this evening. Well, I'll tell you what. We are in the fourth quarter. And back in January, a whole lot of people set a whole lot of goals and dreams and aspirations, and they were going to do this, that, and the other. Well, guess what? Now is the time to show what you've done, right? Now is the time to pull out all your books from January to say, hey, I set this goal. Am I hitting that goal? Am I on target? Am I going to hit that goal by the end of December? We are halfway through, or over halfway through the month of October. So you really have, probably about a month and a half total left, because November, Thanksgiving, and after Thanksgiving, nobody really does anything. Right. Right. So, but we're going to be talking about and reflecting on the year tonight, and some people are in the zone, and let's face it, some people are not. And when you're in the zone, man, you feel unstoppable. You feel like you just can't mess up. Everything is just going well. And then you have those times when you're in a rut, right? The dog days of June or May or July. If every month's a dog day for you, then you got a problem. You need to come talk to. You need to get in that boot camp, right? When you're in that rut, sometimes, man, it gets rough, right? So we're going to talk about what it's like and what it means to help you finish strong. And when we say finish strong, what I want you to do is I want you to take that word, I want you to put it in bold, I want you to put it in parentheses, I want you to underline it, I want you to put it in red. Finishing strong, right? So when we think about finishing strong, tonight we're going to talk about things that you can do to help yourself finish strong, and how do we feel about finishing strong? What does it mean to us, and all those things. So, Dr. Nick, she loved the kids, and she loves helping the kids adult in their purpose. So when you think of finishing strong, Dr. Nick, what comes to mind for you?
Yeah, great question. So for me, if I can boil it down to like three things. So the first thing is kind of what you said earlier is, going over the goals that I set prior to going into the fourth quarter and making sure that I'm on task to get those done. And even like now we have, I saw it was 67 days until the end of the year now. So what can I do in the next 67 days that is going to help me achieve those goals and get focused, like laser focus on those things? So I still have like 2 outstanding goals that I still need to complete before in the 67 days. So that, to me, one thing is finishing strong, getting focused, getting those things done. And then the next thing, of course, like you said, I love the kids, love making an impact, is making sure that I'm still doing what I love to do, right? Just today, or just a couple of days ago, I had a parent reach out to me and was talking about their millennial child and how they're in their early 30s and just have no real motivation and just no push, and was needing help. So it was just that reminder, like, you still on task. There are still lives that you need to impact. You can't take the leg off the gas pedal. So it's like evaluating, okay, how much of an impact? I still got time to make an impact. How much more of an impact I'm going to make to finish out this year strong? So it's the goals, the impact, and the last thing is making sure that I set myself up for 2023. Like, what am I doing in this quarter that's going to help me just catapult the new year, as opposed to trying to figure out what I'm going to do for the year in January. So I'm doing that now. So those are the 3 things for me that's going to help me finish strong.
Okay.
So what about you guys? And Dr. Angela, what you got?
So I think the first thing should be that I become a doctor. No, I'm
Yeah.
just
You got 67 days.
I got 67 days. And you have no idea that, like, literally there was an opportunity to do it in December, and I was like, man. But I say all that to say it's funny because so many people do call me Dr. Angela now. I'm like, that's interesting. But as far as finishing the year, last year I had I think we talked about this a couple of shows back. Figured I'd come up with a big audacious goal for the fourth quarter, because for whatever reason, sometimes I think we have to come up with new challenges for ourselves. When you hit certain levels of routine success and, momentum, you got steady clients and things like that, we can get comfortable. And so some of the things that we've even done through the years, that when we kind of flash back over the last 2.5 years, like one of them was doing a show, right? Like it was something none of us had ever done. It was something we wanted to do. It got us out of our comfort zone a little bit. Then came the books, right, Cedric? So then it was the writing the books. And I'm about to launch an anthology with some ladies in about a month. So every now and again, that's what really gets me going. So for the fourth quarter, it was me coming up with another big audacious goal and saying, okay, so what do you want to make? And by virtue of that, because I'm tying money for one of my programs in particular to scholarships for young girls, it's like, how many young women do you want to impact with a college scholarship so that, they can go to school next year? And so when I think about finishing strong, I find for me, it helps to tie what it is I want to do or want to accomplish with something bigger than me or something that impacts other people, because it keeps me motivated and it gets me inspired. And then, like I said, also just doing something I've never done before. Because I get lackadaisical and comfortable, just like everybody else do. And that's some of the little stuff that I try to do. Try something new, do something I've never done before. And then that gets me inspired. And in the book, The Power of Habit, the author talks about the fact that there are certain keystone habits and things that once you start doing them, it really rolls over into other habits. And that's what I find those challenges do for me. It's like when I get focused on getting one goal accomplished, I end up accomplishing a whole lot more than I anticipated, because it's kind of like that residual effect.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely understand that. And when I think about finishing strong, I the goal is definitely one of those things. But I also I like to sit, because in December I take the month off, right? So I like to start by thinking about, so what did I actually do? Let me go back and see all the things I said I wanted to do. How many of those things? So I'm at the high level first. How many of those things I actually accomplished, right? Then once I do that, so I say, okay, so these 3 or 4 things I did not accomplish for whatever reason. I don't even give it any excuses, alibis, or anything. I just didn't get those done, right? So then I put those aside. So then I go look at the things that I did accomplish and say, okay, so did I accomplish it better or at the level I thought I was going to accomplish it? Or was it, I got it done, but it wasn't, at what I thought I was going to do. And what that does is helps me determine whether I put in the right amount of effort into it, right? Not that I'm beating myself up over it, but I just want to understand, was I very intentional about it? So for example, I'll start in December and I'll look at the books that I wanted to write this year. So I wrote one, I have the second one partially done, but I said I was going to do 3. So I didn't do 3, right? So now I got to figure out, okay, how well did the first one go? And what do I need to do on the second one to get it, boom, done and launched out? Then decide, okay, for the third one, do I still want to do that one? Or is there something else I want to do? Something got in the way of me completing all 3. So I want to understand what that is so that I don't go into the new year with that same whatever that is, right? And because that's going to be one of the things that's on my list again for next year. And then I do that for everything that I said I wanted to accomplish this year. And quite frankly, some things that I didn't accomplish will go off the list because I'll say, you know what, time is not right. I'm not feeling it the same way I was feeling it last year this time. So I just put it on the shelf, and maybe I'll get back to it, but maybe I won't. And then the next thing that I do then is start saying, all right, so what is it that I want to do in the new year? And then talk about what you're talking about, getting to the goals. Then I start hammering out what those goals are going to be. And what 2 years ago, remember I said I wasn't going to have a monetary goal. It was just a get things done goal. I already know that this next year I'm going to have a monetary goal. Haven't thought through it yet, but I'm gonna do that. And so that's what I think about it. And finishing strong, is there anything that is there anything I can do between now and the end of the year to accomplish some of the other things that I want to accomplish, right? Sometimes you say yeah, and sometimes you can't impact it, or you don't want to impact it. It's like, what, it's a year, it's a wrap, I'm done. I'll impact it in January.
It's interesting though, when Nicole was talking, I just, even before, we started doing a lot of stuff together, and I think I've definitely been highly more intentional just because of the relationship and everything else. But I always seem to notice, I know you mentioned, Cedric, that, once Thanksgiving happens, people quit working anyway. But for whatever reason, for me, that Thanksgiving to December 31st period of time is always booming. And, I don't know if it's because a lot of people do want to just know before they take off that they got some things in the queue to start January 1. So it gives them, that psychological permission to now goof off for 2 weeks or don't check their email, do anything, because come January, they're going to hit the ground running. For some people, of course, I do know a lot of it is fiscal year, financial. They got money to spend before the end of the year. But yeah, and I've always actually liked working that time of year too, because I think it's because so many other people are off. It was like, even when I worked for the government, I knew I could get a lot done because the majority of the people wasn't going to be there.
Yeah. Well, when I was working that December time period, even though I would take off, it was a busy, I was still working. I just wasn't traveling because we had numbers to hit at the end of the quarter, but that was on somebody else's time, right? Now it's on my time, and yeah, it's a wrap.
Yeah, it's part of your business model now. It's like your Friday is off and everything. It really is. And like, even we mentally know it's psychological. We be like, oh, it's December. Cedric's not working.
Yeah. One of my clients had their purchasing call me, and she said, before the person called me, she told him, I don't think Cedric's going to be available in December because I don't think he works in December. And then they called me and asked me if I could do something in December. And I said, hey, if you really, really need it, we can talk about it, but I don't know I'm to work. They said, well, we don't really need it. We can wait till January. I was like, then we're perfect. Yeah, but it's just, you're right. It's a part of my business model now. And it's also that commitment to have that margin in my life, right? All the other months of the year, I'm going at it hard, and you got to have margin in your life. If you don't have margin in your life, you're going to find that you just always working. And at some point,
burnout.
The dollars don't matter.
You're right.
Yeah. What'd you say, Nicole?
I said that leads to burnout.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. Yep. So we were talking about this finishing strong. We were talking about the what, the why, and the how behind successfully finishing strong, so you can get your work done, and you can get it done quicker, better, faster, smarter, and hit your goals. And when I think about goals, I think of three things. One, they got to be inspiring. Two, they have to be believable. And we're not even talking about SMART goals, but they just have to be inspiring to you. You have to want to get up every day to go hit that goal, right? You got to be, it have to be believable, right? I can't say I want to make $1 billion this year. Like, is that really realistic? And am I going to believe that every day? Right. I have to, I gotta at least make 100 million first before I get to the billion, right? So I want it to be like, all right. So it has to be believable. The next thing is, it must be a goal that you can act on. If you can't act on it right away, then you know what? It's either one, not something that you need to be focused on, or two, it's a part of your long-term goals and not necessarily a short-term goal, right? And when I think of short-term goals, I'm thinking your current year or short-term. So just think about that. So Angie, you talked about, you got to know what you want and set your goal to do this. Dr. Nick, in step 2 in finishing strong, we say decide on the right things. And when you think about that, what comes to mind for you?
Yeah, so it's the idea of whatever you define as highest priority, because there's so many things that we can do. But you got to ask yourself, what are your desired outcomes, and choose the right task. I'm always thinking about the law of the process, that accomplishments does not necessarily mean productivity. Like, you can do so many things, but are you productive in doing the things that you need to do? So when we start out talking about passion projects and interests, it's 67 days left to the end of the year. People are like, oh, I want to do this, I want to do that. But really decide what are the right tasks. There has to be enthusiasm in where there's a harmony that comes together to say, these are the things that I'm going to focus on. So when you get a rush on excitement on a new hobby, that FOMO, right? You want to do everything. You got to really decide, what is it that you're going to focus on? What are the right tasks that you need to put you in the right position? It's time to sit down, decide the tasks that are right for you, and focus on it. That's where, where your energy goes, that's what flows and grows, right? So sometimes it all comes down to the challenge level. If there's something that is time consuming, you may get overwhelmed and eventually just get discouraged and give up or not do it, put it to the back burner. But on the flip side, if you're working towards something that's easily obtainable, you won't get bored. You get that motivation. So finding that harmony between too challenging and too simple can really mean the difference between the key to finish strong. So deciding on what the right tasks are, that's going to help you really truly finish strong.
Yes, absolutely right about that. So, we are here 21 minutes into the show, and I think we should just do a commercial break. Even on TV, they have commercial breaks, and so we're going to interject a little commercial break in here. And let me tell you what, Dr. Nick, from what I understand, I don't know if Angela was right or not. She told me that December 3rd, we have something going on. Let's tell our audience about that. Let's do a little commercial break right quick.
And commercial break in 5, 4, 3, 2. And welcome. No, all jokes aside, you guys, this is if you have been with us in any moment, you know that we do a premier virtual networking event called Connect and Collab. It's the networking event for entrepreneurs, and it's virtual. So doesn't matter where you are in the world, you can come and connect and collaborate with us. It is an opportunity to meet like-minded entrepreneurs just like yourself, make some great connections, exchange contact information, find out, add value to others, look for various collaborations. This is our last one for the year. And if you have been to ones before, you know how much value that you get. We have had some amazing speakers who have graced our virtual stage that have given us just great nuggets to help us move our business to the next level. We've seen collaborations come out of these events. So this event is going to be about model, connect, and evolve. It's all about really that connection and can you collaborate and build a team to take your business to the next level. There's a John Maxwell quote that says, one is too small of a number for success and significance, right? So when you're thinking about your business and wanting to do something big, wanting to take your things to the next level, you need to build a team. So we're going to focus on that, how to do that, how to model that, how to connect, how to involve. So register. This is a no charge event for December 3rd, but we wanted to do something a little bit different this time. We got to switch it up. We got to switch it up. We can't keep doing the same thing. So for this Connect and Collab, we are wanting to see the people who are really serious in finishing strong in their next 67 days of the year. If those that are ready to finish strong truly, and not just curious, but those that are serious, we have a VIP experience just for you. And so for this event, we're going to offer a VIP experience for the entrepreneurs that are ready, just to have a little bit more intimate experience with us as the BEI founders, just helping you get to that next level, to put you in position for success for 2023. So with this VIP experience, you're going to get a specific Zoom session with us. You have one-on-one coaching. And then also we're going to give you, with that package, you're going to give teachings on the fundamentals of business building. So if you are new, or even if you're a seasoned entrepreneur and not sure that you have all of the things, the legal aspects of your business in place, this teaching is going to help you make sure that you have the things that you need, that you have a solid foundation in your business, that you have all the things that you need to consider. Because there are some things that you don't know what you don't know, and there may be some things that you haven't considered, and you're growing your business, and there's some things that are missing. So we have teaching on laying the foundation and getting your business, the fundamentals of your business in place. Then, not only that, we're going to add in identifying your niche. How many business owners have such a hard time struggling finding a niche? Why? Because you know what? They want to help everybody. So this teaching is going to help you narrow down, how do you find your niche? Who do you help? And then the last thing that we're going to throw in for this VIP experience is discovery calls. How many people are nervous when it's time to make those discovery calls, right? You just like, do I pick up the phone? What do I do? What do I do? So if you need that, it's time. It's the VIP experience. You know, we have BEI After Dark, but now we have the VIP experience.
We say down in Louisiana, experience.
Experience. All right. So it's time. Get registered. And if you are wanting to be one of the few, it's limited spacing in our VIP experience, you go ahead and secure your spot now.
There we go. All right. We are back from commercial break. Welcome to BEI Live. So that's low tech commercials that we do right here around here. So, you know, we're talking tonight about finishing strong. And the first step that Angela walked us through was know what it is you want to accomplish. Set a goal, in other words, right? Dr. Nick talked about deciding on the right task. And I'm going to highlight for you the third step, which is figure out how you do your best work. Now, let me tell you what, how and when you do your best work, nobody can tell you when, right? But so, you know, do you ever feel that you have some of those places that make you more motivated than others, right? It makes you get more excited than other times. See, some people love to be out in nature, taking hikes. I love to be in my office with some music playing. I get pumped up. I get excited. Normally before doing a live show, I will listen to some music to get me pumped up. Before I go into a client, I listen to music on my ride there. I turn my music up real loud and I get pumped up. I get excited. So when I walk in, I'm already sweating because I'm letting them know I'm coming to bring it, and they better be ready. You know, some people, you know, they want to go sit in a coffee shop and relax. They may sit in their living room, right? Perhaps maybe it's in your cubicle at work. But wherever it is that motivates you to work quickly, efficiently, and help you move things along the process toward finishing strong, that's what you do. But on top of that, what we want you to think about are these things, right? When you work, how you work, who you work with, are some of the things you need to take in consideration. But more importantly, why do you want to work with that person? So I'm going to kind of step through some of the environmental aspects of finishing strong to help us go along and finish this fourth quarter better than any other fourth quarter that we've had. So if we think of where, right? And like I said, you could be in your office working or somewhere outside. Think about the conditions of this environment for you. Is it hot? Is it cold? Is it warm? Is it rainy? You know, some people like to hear that or smell the fresh rain or even hear the water, right? For me, it's going to be, you know, hearing that beach water soon is what's going to, you know, well, that always gets me motivated and relaxed. In fact, I wrote my book when I was in Belize last November. And every morning I'd get up and I would just sit on the balcony and I would just listen to the waves crashing, and boom, I would just chopping out the three chapters that I needed to write very easily. It just made things flow for me, right? But when you think of where it is, and wherever it is for you, get there. And if you need to do that multiple times per week, per day, per month, per year, whatever that is to get you motivated and inspired, man, get in that environment, because that's where you do your best work. And if you want to be productive, and Dr. Nick said earlier, you can have a whole lot of activity going on, but that doesn't mean production, right? So get to that environment that's going to make you most productive. When, right? They say that the early bird gets the worm, or the night owl, for a reason. But let me tell you what, everyone is on their own time zone. So it's important to pay attention to yours, right? We all have a rhythm that we are built to fall within, and our body runs on. So I will just tell you, getting up at 3-4 o'clock in the morning is normally not what I do on a regular basis, getting up at that time. But if I'm normally up at that time, boom, I can normally get some things out. But so that 5 or 6 o'clock, I don't even really want to know when that comes, because I just really want to be asleep, right? But I do, like tonight, I'm going to burn some oil. I have a big workshop to do tomorrow, and I already practiced it, but I'm going to go through it again, and I may be up late tonight, and I'm good with that. And tomorrow morning, boom, I'll be fresh, ready to go. But if you're an early person and you want to get up at 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning, because that's when you're going to be able to just like be in that flow, then go ahead and get up and do that. If you're that night owl, then go ahead and get that tea, that coffee, or whatever it is, that little gin tonic, whatever, then go ahead and get that as well, and let it get you moving, right? Hey, look,
I don't know how much moving you're gonna do after that.
Look, I hate to see that presentation after that.
Hey, not for me. No, some people, that's what they need. They need a little, come on, baby, to get them going. So,
come on, baby.
Y'all not from Louisiana. Y'all don't know.
Clearly, this is regional conversation. He said they need a little come on, baby, to go.
That stuff that it gets you going. All of a sudden, you done popped out 5 presentations and 3 workshops and all that type stuff. So, but whatever you need to get you moving and going and get you in that flow to be productive, man, that's what you need to do all the time. So now, any comments or feedback, Angela, Nicole, before we go into the topic number 4?
No.
I'm still on the gin and tonic.
Hey, let me say something.
Look, sipping on gin and juice.
That's what I'm saying.
My mind on my money and my money on my mind.
Let me get to the audience. I bet the audience knows what I'm talking about. Edward knows, right? You sitting out there with his little.
Edward is a whole nother story.
He be sitting there with his little cup. Kendrick probably working out, and then drinking him something, but try to act like he got water in that cup. But I know what's going on. All right. So then, Dr. Nick, the 4th thing when we talk about finishing strong, we talk about about connection. So tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah. So it's all about networking. Kind of what the reason why we started Connect and Collab is to be more efficient and more intentional about networking. And networking is typically the best way to learn about new opportunities, whether it's work related, business related, or otherwise. And I think we don't necessarily do networking effectively. There's a lot of networking events that people go to and just really just interchanging or exchanging business cards, and they call that networking. But most successful people can trace their success back to really key relationships about people who have been door openers, right? So when you think about making those connections and the year end goals that you have to ask yourself, do you have a strategy for connecting with people to help you achieve your goals, right? So connecting is always increases your influence in every situation, and it does require energy. And so that's why we have created this platform called Connect and Collab. So you can come and bring that energy, and it's another opportunity, right? This is the necessary energy that you need to expend to build those relationships and find people that you can collaborate with that can open doors and help you get to the next level, as well as you add value to their business as well. There's a book called The Science of Getting Rich. And in one of the chapters, it talks about the impression of increase. And it conveys the idea that if your business consists of dealing with other people, you should focus on the efforts of conveying that impression to increase the advancement of everything that you do with the people. So you can't do anything without others. Whether you're building a team, whether you're trying to increase your client base and trying to teach your customers, it's all about relationship. So how are you showing up? Are you placing yourself in environments with people who can advance your purpose and your mission? And likewise, not only are you looking to get, but are you giving those things as well? And so this is the reason, again, Connect and Collab is another opportunity for you to do that. You never know when you might be one of the connection away from that next level.
Yes, absolutely. Um, you know, um, the book science, the book, The Science of Getting Rich, right? So I put that book up there with any of the major books I always read: Think and Go Rich, 100 Things Successful People Do, 13 Things that um, um, Mentally Strong People Don't Do. The Science of Getting Rich is one of those books that's a good read. There's a lot of great nuggets in it. So if you haven't gotten that book or read that book, then put it on your to-do list and go check that out. So because it's really really good. As we talk about, and we starting to rounding out this list tonight, we talk about number 5, which is, what knowledge, information, or skills do I need to finish strong? Right? If you just think of what knowledge, what information, or what skills I need to finish strong, man, let me tell you what, one of the principles of growth is that you must know yourself in order to grow yourself, right? Now, I'm going to share with you 4 questions that help you to learn how to finish strong, and it's going to lead to transformation in your life, not just change. I'm talking about transformation, right? Number 1 is, who are you and what do you want? William Shedd said, a ship in harbor is safe, but that's not what the ship is built for. Right. Number 2 is, where are you and why are you there? Plato said, we can forgive a child for being afraid of the dark, but the real tragedy is when the grown adults are afraid of the light. Oh man, right there. That whole line. Angela, I know a whole lot of people that's afraid of the light. Right?
Yes.
They talk about success, but they're afraid of it. They talk about all the things that they want to do, but they're afraid of. They think one way. They can't think of options or alternatives. Right? It has to be just this way, and they can never move off of that to do other things. Right? To give them expansion in their life and their thoughts and what they do. Number 3 is, what will you do and how will you do it? Aristotle said, we're repeatedly what we do. Excellence then is not an act, but a habit. See, And I'm going to say that again because Dr. Nick, I know some people in Atlanta probably missed this, right? We are repeatedly what we do.
Don't let them do it to you.
Excellence then is not an act, but a habit. Okay. The last one is, who are your allies and how can they help you? Right? Who are the people that can help you go to another level, can help you do some things that you can't do on your own? Who are those people? Hang around those people more often. Solomon said in Ecclesiastes 4:9-10, there are two. When there are two, two are better than one because they have a good return for their work. If one falls, his friend can help them up. But pity the one who falls down and has no one to help pick him up. See, Angela, when I think about this, I think about BEI boot camp, right? There are three of us, right? And if one of us are falling down on something, we help each other, right? Now, all three of us help people that register for the boot camp. Now, tell us a little bit about boot camp, Angela, and I know we got another one coming up here in January. So this is our second commercial break for the hour.
Now we'll have a word from our sponsor. And so let's talk a little bit about the BEI boot camp. You know, when we started the boot camp over 2 years ago, we actually had no idea of what it would grow into and what it become. But it was all started because we each had gone down the journey of entrepreneurship. And what we realized very quickly that our journey might have shaped out a little differently or progressed a little faster had we known some things that we didn't know. And as you know, Dr. Nick said earlier, you don't know what you don't know. So what we decided to do is pull together a lot of the things that we didn't know and wish someone had told us. And out of that was formed 8 core courses that we know any entrepreneur, no matter how long you've been in business, or if you're just now thinking, you know, I got another year, 18 months before I transition from my corporate job, and now I'm ready to grow my business or turn my hustle into a business or whatever the case may be. So we created the Business Boot Camp for minority business owners. Now, minorities are our niche or our target, and we were very specific in that. However, any and everyone can join. As Cedric mentioned earlier, we're in our 10th boot camp starting in January of 2023. So you can register now and become a part of that. But here's what makes the boot camp so great, because I tell people all the time, Cedric, Nicole, nor I created anything that wasn't already out there, right? What we did do, though, is compile and go through and weed through a lot of miscellaneous stuff that needed to be just pushed aside and bring you the good stuff, the main courses. What are the things that you need to up-level your business journey? Between that, our own personal journeys, experiences, mentoring, coaching, and the community and family that we have created, we can say that we have successfully, or will come 2 weeks from now, graduated 9 cohorts of entrepreneurs through this process. And I can tell you unequivocally, and there is no exception to this, anyone who has applied themselves in totality, shown up, done the work, and then applied it to their business, they don't recognize their business 6 months from their introduction to the BEI Business Bootcamp. That I can tell you unequivocally. So am I telling you that everybody has that story? No, because everybody didn't do the work, you know, but we're telling you, when you do the work, when you listen, when you apply, and when you make this your own, and you allow us to coach, mentor, and support you and be the board that you can't afford, you're going to have a journey that you won't regret. So the link is scrolling now at the bottom of the screen, www.blackentrepreneurinstitute.com/enroll. And we'd love to have you in the January boot camp.
Yes, and it's also in the comment. I put it in the comments as well for you. So let me tell you what, folks. If you're trying to finish strong, and when I say finishing strong, it means not allowing yourself to stay stuck nor quitting, but pacing yourself in an environment where you get outside of your comfort zone. You come close, you close those gaps that's been blocking you. You open up your awareness to new things and new possibilities, and all of these and all of these things that you learn in the boot camp, and then you just learn from being around us. And I'm gonna tell you what, you're gonna learn some stuff just by being around, right? But when you're around and in that boot camp, man, it's amazing. It's a wonderful thing. All of a sudden, you'll start feeling empowered in your business. You'll start feeling empowered about the way you think, the way you walk, the way you talk, the way you see things. You'll start seeing things, possibilities in terms of opportunities that you never saw before, because your awareness is better, because you decided to not just invest in yourself. What you decided to do was transform your life and your business and your network, right? And when you do that, you have no other choice but to go to a higher level. And we say elevate your mindset and elevate your money, and it's a real thing, right? So get in on number 10, right? If you got to call boot camp or her and say she's a 10, then go ahead and get on in. So we're gonna round this out with Angela is going to just quickly tell us the number 6 is highlighted, and then Dr. Nick will tell us number 7, and we're gonna go ahead and wrap this up.
So number 6 is all about limiting distractions. And we all know that we live in the age now where everything is constantly bombarding us, and distractions actually make us feel like we have less work to do. So we subconsciously view them as a positive thing. And one of the things I remember Paul Martinelli saying one time, the only thing worse than a distraction is a good one. So we have to be intentional about limiting them. And one of the things that we can do is think about the fact that, for instance, when we travel, we put our phones in airplane mode. Well, guess what? Do that even when you're not traveling. I know iPhones have focus mode, and now it even has focus for personal and business. So there's no excuse for not limiting distractions. Keeping your goals in front of you. What that looks like for one may be different. It could be on a board. It could be on a vision board. It could be stickies. It doesn't matter. But keep those things in front of you. Make sure that you know what are you aiming for. And then track your time. How are you spending your time? Time is a valuable resource. So while we don't get more of it, what we do get is the ability to reallocate it.
Yes, absolutely. Dr. Nick, go ahead and close us out with a high level on number 7. And Dr. Nick, let me tell you, you got a minute and a half. That's it. I'm gonna cut you off.
All I got to say is the last 7 is the number of completion. And to complete this, you got to take action. Okay, it's time to start doing. You want to finish strong, you got to do. You got to commit to something challenging. Remember to decide what task is important. Then honor the goals and wishes that you have. You know, make sure that you are focused. Focus on finishing strong. Get in the zone. Honor yourself. Get your commitments and just do it. Just like Nike, just do it and start now. You got 67 days on the calendar to finish strong. 67 days. So start now. Already decide the things that you're going to do and take the leap and just go for it. We got music. You know what I'm talking about?
Wait a minute. I got to tell him this, right? So when Cedric was talking about that G and Kerry put in the chat, so y'all don't know nothing about that LaFleur method of finding your flow. And so I think it comes with music, Nicole.
I had to play the music on Nicole. I just want to do it.
Just do it. Just start now, guys.
So obviously, folks, you see, we like to have fun. But let me tell you before we go, Connect and Collab is Saturday, December 3rd. Click the link in the comments. Reach out to us if you have trouble getting to that. Register for bootcamp number 10. The link is also in the comments. And again, reach out to us if you have questions or comments around that. We definitely appreciate your time tonight. Thank you for tuning in. tonight, and we look forward to bringing you another live show at a later date as well. Again, as always, thank you guys very much for tuning in. We appreciate it. We appreciate the support, the love. Angela and Dr. Nick, you guys have a good rest of your evening as well.
All right.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.